Hello and welcome back. I wanted to do a video today just talking about now that we have this new sitting president, which is so odd, how do you all feel? I wanted to tell you how I feel and about the subjects that are on this channel going forward and how they've been impacted. Okay, so I'm actually in this weird bubble where I feel very lonely because I'm one of few people who's actually kind of relieved we're now past January 20th. I was keeping an eye out for a lot of signs leading up to a potential catastrophe or assassination attempt on either Obama or Trump, because it just seems like it's in the air. It seems like this whole country is being run by fear and rage. And I feel like it's been predicted in a lot of programming, especially that Trump was going to be assassinated. So with me, from finding out who won the election back in November up until this point, I was actually quite nervous just to see, okay, this is the part of the game I don't understand. This is where I don't know which chess piece is going to move next. But now that we have him as sitting president, I feel like it's a little bit more predictable. We're a little bit more back to the books. A little bit more, he's slowly going to start showing us that he's doing nothing that he said in his campaign, which I'm going to be surprised to see how many people are surprised by that. They really think this man's going to hold true. I've been talking to a lot of people who are waking up, and a lot of people think that Trump is this anti-establishment guy, and a lot of people in the truther community think that he is the guy to break up the cronies and the Fed and all this stuff. I don't get why they think that. I don't get why they think he's going to be able to do anything. He's just a puppet. We've talked about that on this channel plenty. I don't think that he has any power. I don't think he has any sway. I think this is just part of fame. I think the presidency, what I'm learning on my waking up journey is that when you get offered a position of power, because it is offered to you, we do not have elections, we have selections. And it's very well documented that Barack was groomed from a young age to become president. And if you look back, his name isn't even Barack Obama. I forget what, I watched a video and then I read up on what his name actually is and who his father really is. And it's all different from information we've been given. But the name they chose for him, Barack Obama, actually stands for, Barack means lightning, I believe, in Hebrew, and I'm not sure if it's Latin or Hebrew, but Obama means, comes down from heaven, or it's something like that. So lightning comes down from heaven, and that's how you describe the Antichrist in the Bible. So, or Lucifer. I'm not sure if it's Lucifer or the Antichrist. Forgive me, I don't know my religions. I am fascinated by that book, though. I am on this journey of mine discovering that that book is a true map for how to guide your way through life, because life is just this mess. It's a messy mess. Last night, we checked out this show, just saw the first episode. What was it called? It's not Black Mirror. It was Westworld with Evan Rachel Wood and Thandie Newton. It's interesting, and I feel like I'm understanding this show, and let me tell you, had I watched it a year ago, I would not have. I think that I'm getting the message they're putting out there. It's a very trippy show. I think it's pretty recent, so if you haven't heard of it, look it up, check it out. It's twisted, and I want to give it more. I've only seen the first episode. It was nutty. To me, it basically just seems like it's breaking down that life is a simulation. We're in this, simulator, hologram, 4D, whatever you want to call it. It's very weird. But they seem to be pushing this agenda everywhere. So this is another point I want to make. Everything's connected, and everything is moving towards a more unified appearance, especially here in America, just culturally speaking. So I'm a little confused why people aren't how come all our music is getting dark, edgy, and violent, and super occultic? All our movies are getting dark, edgy, violent, occultic. All of our art, the fact that Maria Abramovic is popular. She writes in blood on walls. I don't get it. That's Satanism. I don't get why that's like art in our minds. It doesn't need to be. We give it value because we buy into this, oh, the elitists, and they have their waspy parties where their wafy thin wives like Gwyneth Paltrow like wisp around the room willing to bottom for anybody. I don't understand. We've been told the message, okay? Like, you get it through how, look at Stanley Kubrick, watch Eyes Wide Shut. That shit is real, and that is the tip. That is just the tip, okay? We don't know shit. We don't get what these people do. We don't get what they're saying and why they're saying it, because everything they're saying is casting a spell. I mean, we don't even understand that. You learn in grade school how to spelling. You're casting spells. Language is given to us because we were born in the lingo age. It's deemed the age of confusion because you confuse people with the tongue. I have this crazy theory. I'm doing a podcast with my boyfriend. What if human beings aren't supposed to have tongues? Okay, slow down. I'm just saying because I was thinking of it like this. We call it tongues when somebody's speaking. When you're speaking in tongues, you can't understand them. You're speaking tongues. That's how I interpret it. I don't know what the fuck it is. Google it. It's like unintelligible, or a language you don't understand, or the original language. I don't fucking know. Pick one. But when you think about it, our tongue is solely to speak language. And when I believe what I'm learning is when humans were originally here, we were telepathic. It was the golden age. Right now we're just leaving the iron age and entering the bronze, so it's new and unfamiliar. And things will change. I've always thought I've had a little bit heightened intuition, and I now believe I actually do, and like Indigo Child and looking up all this stuff. It's crazy, okay? All of this to say that I think that there are ways to communicate with our fellow brethren, and it's not via speech. Because if you think about it, we're in the lingo age. That's the age of confusion because you confuse with words, and words are casting spells. So if you put all this stuff together, I feel like we're, as a species, supposed to be communicating telepathically, which they, the elite, wouldn't have a way of stopping, at least that we know of. Maybe they're working on it, not sure. But I just think that's fascinating because, you know, as I'm probably being mocked and laughed at throughout this video, if you think about it, if we stopped and thought, like, what if, right? What if we tried to speak telepathically? What if we demanded that our schooling system gave kids time for meditation and silence and let kids be kids? Because I think as we were kids, we were telepathic. I feel like your friends could sense when you were sad and they came over to you. Like, I really feel like as we age, we become more disconnected, and we need to learn how to become connected again. We came from a source. As children, we lose source because our elders are teaching us nonsense, depending on where you're growing up. These are just thoughts, opinions, add to it. That's what the discussion is about. I just thought that was a fascinating rabbit hole to fall down. I mean, honestly, what if, right? What if this is all a simulation? What if everything you've ever heard is a lie? And I saw this advert for a movie because I watched They Live, a throwback. It was like an 80s movie, and it's about waking up. It's fucking brilliant. Check it out. But there's another movie that's like it. It's called Society, and it's this dude who gets so paranoid because he thinks everybody is against him. He even thinks his own family is like CIA agents, like his sister's trying to kill him, and his friends are, you know, steering him into this path of life rather than letting him make decisions for himself. It's very fascinating. It's on my queue to watch. If you've seen it, add comments. But I just wanted to make this video to be like, hey, you know, just because Trump is in office and maybe you're not a Trump supporter, or maybe you're a super huge Trump supporter, this is just kind of a message to be like, let's all just have a discussion. Let's see where things are headed, and let's try to have our eyes open for things getting worse, or at least staying on the same direction that the previous presidents have kept them, and if he's just pushing them forward like a steam engine. You know what I mean? Just kind of keeping things going per usual or heightening them. And that's what we got to keep an eye on. I did notice, speaking of a lot of media-driven consumerism, the new fad show to watch is the Man in the High Priestess Tower. I don't know, what's it called? Man in the High Tower? The High Tower? That show that they're advertising all over Netflix. What's with the Nazi glorification everywhere? It's so weird and eerie. I haven't checked out the show. Maybe I should, so I'm probably being, you know, yelled at right now. But It's interesting because when I watched the inauguration, it made it look like that, which is a throwback to Hitler, which is like a what are they trying to? This all seems like psyop to me. Is basically the point I wanted to make. But anyway, add to the discussion, look up things I brought up in the video if they are new to you, and I hope to have you back for future videos. Continue to pass these along, show and discuss, and have comments come in with me. I love reading them. It's fascinating. Anyway, take care of yourself today. Peace.